What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your December episode of I almost said balling with my bestie. Burning the red shirt. We're here to talk bowl season, Army Navy. And I don't know, was there any coaching news that happened this week
No, it's been
that you think
boring.
is okay? So we have a very limited shelf life here. We either gotta talk about this today or never again, because I think by the end of the weekends, people are gonna be, like tired of the conversation, or it's not going to be interesting anymore. So,
Yeah, it seems like it's really going to die out. The story doesn't
well,
have any legs.
I will see. I think we could find out more stuff in the next like 48 hours, and
Yeah,
then like that could be a ton of stuff. And then at that point, it's like, well, what's another little itty bitty addition? Like I think we've gone 0 to 60 pretty quick, and now we're just waiting for specifics.
do you think Bryce is gone?
Well, we talked about this on C2C Live. Like there might
Okay.
be, and Sean from ETR, we were talking about it too. Like there might be NIL stipulations that like keep him around, and not necessarily like literal wording, but like how he's getting paid may impact it. Like
Oh,
if he's
that's
getting
true.
paid a certain way, whether it, like not crypto, but like that idea of like, don't give me money, give me payment in the form of something else. And that value might be gone if he leaves, type
It
of thing.
might
I don't
be
know. That's just all speculation or rumor, though.
the opposite of the NBA poison pill thing, where his agreement is structured in a way that makes it like financially advantageous for him to stick around. I would assume, like from like a clause perspective or whatever, there's got to be language that speaks to stuff like this occurring. So it's not as a like, so we're probably not in a situation like what have you? I'm sure you've seen what's going on with that guy that transferred from Georgia to Missouri, where Georgia's like suing him or whatever.
I was
For
just
like,
about to ask you your thought on that, but yeah, go into it.
yeah, I assume this is probably not like that because I think the idea there, I didn't read too much about it because I don't really care, but is that he just like breached contract or whatever, and like they had an agreement, and he just said whatever, I'll do what everyone else is doing and just dip, and no one will do anything about it. But Georgia decided to do something about it. I assume that this wouldn't be something like that though because of the conditions that are occurring that would result in Bryce potentially looking to move, right? Like that I'm sure there's language that speaks to that. Um, but the Georgia thing, I don't know. I I generally am like so like player friendly in terms of my opinions, but like the idea that we can have like agreements between team and player, and then player just like disregard them because I like it's basically just throwing a temper tantrum and like I don't want to type thing. Like that's not great. And also another opinion of mine that I've been so firm about, but I'm starting to shift is like the idea that historically, like I've looked at it as like a very black mark on you as a coach if you left the program after 1 year. But now, like I don't know how I can hold firm on that like anymore, given the landscape of CFB. Like the guy going from Washington State to Iowa State after being at Washington State for 1 year. Like in the past, I've been like, well, you're a scumbag, but now it's like, well, there's like,
Everything has changed.
yeah,
Everything has
it's totally
changed.
different.
When players are like when players weren't paid, we were way more giving them way more leeway. Yeah, go do what you need to, transfer, sit out, whatever, right? Because like you aren't getting paid fairly, so find a way to kind of equal the stakes or equal
Yeah,
that kind of relationship. And now it's like, well, if I want to be cool with players getting paid and all this, and now they're really like employees, right? So like they're just trying to get with theirs. So why would I be mad at a coach just trying to get theirs? It's definitely evened out how we
yeah.
think
I
about
will
the
say
relationships.
the ultimate, like where this actually needs to go, and until like every time we hear from a party in power like NCAA and college administrations, governmental bodies, etc., like talking to the state of affairs and with respect to players and like any solution that doesn't include collective bargaining is just you don't want to do that because you know it's going to be disadvantageous for you. But that is the only way that we actually see um, a state in CFB that is somewhat sticky, I think, and like a long-term solution. Everything else is just people not wanting to do that because like that might not end up being the best outcome for them. But like I think we're gonna continue to see just insane player movement in like whatever you want, like however you want to think about it in terms of just like and you talk to any or you hear any coach talk, they're like, oh, this is impossible now. Like I can't build a program until we get collective bargaining. This is the things will continue to trend in this direction.
Is that just whining, or like that kind of reminds me like if I'm at my job and they say, hey, you need to like do things the same thing, but do it kind of a different way because we have new processes in place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I mean, it's still kind of like your job. And like that's and to an extent, right? Like, how do you become really, really good as a coach? Like you take these new rules and the new landscape and you start like winning consistently, finding new ways to find the edges or to gain advantages, be really good at recruiting your own team. Like it just kind of feels like whining to me. Like, okay, like your job has changed a little bit, but like that's what the money's for, right? Like so like just go do your job. I get it, and it's annoying, right? When I get processes changed in my job, I don't love it, but like that's what the money's for. Like that's why the checks cash, like they clear, and that's why I can afford 1 million horses.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Do you agree with that sentiment a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I would like to just say Andrew reached out and said, let's do a pod this week on Monday. So this podcast is not prompted by Sharon Moore's shenanigans. We don't need to get into the actual shenanigans themselves, but I do wonder who do you think they're going for in terms of a replacement coach, and like ultimately, like who would you actually bet on?
It sounds like the popular name right now is DeBoer, right?
Yeah, DeBoer, and then Fish, I think, are like the two like popular name. I think I don't know why I don't remember this, but I think Jed Fish was at Michigan at one time, wasn't he?
Yeah. And I agree with the idea that if you're Michigan and you're stacking names, wherever you put Fish, once you get to him, everyone else below doesn't matter because he doesn't say no.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would be pretty down with it. I said this on C2C Live. Like, it doesn't excite me like a DeBoer would. It kind of reminds me of like Matt Campbell at Penn State. Like, this is really the best case you're going to get. So, like, you should be pretty happy, all things considered. But it doesn't necessarily like give me a strong tingle.
He skeeves me out. Like, he comes off as so greasy and so slimy. Like, just watching him in interviews, looking at how he keeps himself and like just in like some of his media tactics and stuff, but the actual like the way he runs his program, the way that things play out on game day, and just like his programs relative to the greater landscape of CFB, I can't hate. Like he gets results, and he doesn't like considering so much of the other stuff that's going on in other programs, he's above board. It's at minimum like a B, I think. And if we're grading him on like an A to F, like I don't think it's a bad hire at all if he's the guy.
You think there's some benefit to hiring him because he might be there a long time? Like, do you think that he sees this as like the final destination, or do you think he would want to go back to Florida at some point?
Final destination unless NFL.
I mean, he spent a good bit of years in the NFL. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Especially considering he had a couple years more recently. But
I'd probably make him the favorite.
So do you buy that Michigan? I don't want to go down that route. If Michigan knew about all this, that certainly helps them land DeBoer.
What do you mean?
Like the fact that we've had, I think if you're DeBoer and you have the playoff game, he's more focused on that, and there's certainly more impact on that. But like if Michigan was talking to him like 2-3 weeks ago about leaving, he might be more bought into it. Playoff doesn't matter, or do you think irrelevant?
Oh, I don't know. He's so tough to get a read on. I think the sense I get, which is like it's not strong. I don't feel particularly strong in this way. Is that I think he kind of hates it, like hates a lot of the things associated with his job. Like the bar is so high that he must just look around. I assume he looks around and is like, how am I ever gonna be happy doing this, and when am I gonna be at peace here?
Like in college football or at Alabama?
At Alabama.
I mean, that's the rumor, right? Is that like
hear
that's why he's
my
entertaining it,
do you want
or
to hear
that's the
my
rumor?
you want
Go
to hear
ahead.
my theory on how this goes?
Sure.
Collab with one of my buddies on this. It's the board of Michigan, Sig to Alabama, and yeah, I guess that's long and short of it.
If Signetti leaves Indiana, is Indiana like an enticing school, or is Signetti an enticing coach at that school?
It's enticing in that they showed they'll pay like 10 million. So if they're willing to do that for someone else or someone or near that, then they'll get like a good hire.
I think that's valid.
But he coached there. You've seen that picture, right, of Saban, him and Kirby on the sideline.
I have not.
It's dude, it's iconic. It's like
where were they together? Alabama?
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
But at least like 10 years. But it's just crazy seeing all three of them just coaching ball.
It's crazy looking at like old coaches, like old pictures of like Belichick and all those guys. What a come up for Signetti. He coached at IUP, Elon, then JMU. Obviously he got on the map at JMU, and it was like, oh, everybody knows who Signetti is at that point, at least in like the fantasy circles because of what he did. Would have never guessed Elon and IUP before that.
No, perhaps in hindsight, there should have been more signal when he turned Todd Centeio into a dynamite quarterback. We
should have known.
If in terms of like peeling back the curtain on coaching stuff now, like I just want to know what does this dude do? What is his secret that he can unlock anybody at quarterback? Like I don't get it at all. Like I understand his game plans. It's basically just like be aggressive relative to the situation. It seems like at all times, which is like like in a lot of ways it feels like it kind of mirrors those that one LSU title team with Burrow, but that was like that. Think about how much easier that was. You're just leaning into having these aliens on the field and just letting them make plays. But if Signetti has it feels like he has a similar game plan with like talent that is a lot more on a level playing field. But I would love to know what this dude's secret is to making every one of these quarterbacks a superstar.
He coached Phillip Rivers at NC State.
Stop. Really?
Yeah, that's what it says. And then he also recruited Russell Wilson. I mean, this guy's just dynamite. Now I'm curious what he did at Pittsburgh in the 90s, but I don't have enough time to look that up. You've said his name, so I do want to ask really quickly. You see all these Joe Burrow quotes about him hating his life?
No.
He's like basically like, I want to have fun, and if I'm not having fun, then why am I doing this? It's like people were like, this kind of gives off like Andrew Luck vibes. So I'm curious if I think he's just tired of getting his ass kicked, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Getting injured every year, whether it's because of sacks or whatever. But like, I think it might be playing a mental toll on him.
Yeah, he's just looking at how he kind of carries himself and like interviews and stuff. You wonder kind of where he's at in a headspace perspective.
I will say maybe the greatest piece of advice I ever took from you is I did my first C2C league, and I started with Joe Burrow in the first round.
Did I tell you to do that?
No. And your comments, your belief in one Drake May led me to take him in the second round, even though it really thinned out my flex group. But now I don't have to work. Conceivably, I don't have to worry about quarterback for like 8 years, 10 years.
I believe I berated you incessantly and insulted you. And
you did. That's why I was like, you know what? I don't care. F this. Like, I'm just taking him. And if he sucks, then I can just come back. But if he's great, I'm never going to hear the end of it. So.
Nice. Yeah. Drake's carrying me to the playoffs in my only NFL league. So
let's talk bowl season. And we can't talk bowl season without maybe conceivably the greatest thing Zach's ever done, which is the I guess we're Bowl Bash, sponsored by Burning the Red Shirt, fantasy sports tournament that consists of all bowl games. Although it might not consist of bowl games this weekend. I think that might be a little bit quick. I don't know. Has he pushed out anything about this and I've just missed it?
He there's discussion in our Discord about whether or not to use the like at channel notification thing to let people know that hey, you got to get your lineup in because it kicks off with the Saturday game, Washington and Boise this week.
Does it really? I didn't even join it yet. How do I? Okay, here we go. So
I've started building.
I will tweet it out so everybody has it. But Bowl Bash sign up. It's a $35 entry fee. He says few tweaks. Could you break down the format and everything for everybody? Because I have no idea.
You're asking a lot. I haven't actually read the rules, unsurprisingly. I got some surprises when I started following my season-long leagues closely enough to understand the scoring this year, when it turned out that some of them were like 5 and 6 point passing TV leagues. So, but that was interesting.
It used to be, he did like tiers one year, didn't he? It looks like you just straight take 4 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 5 receivers, 2 tight ends.
One player or one entity, if you think about defense and team in the same thing, from a single team. So I can't take like the Houston defense and Amari Thomas or whatever.
That's the stipulation. That actually is super. It's almost better than doing salary stuff because of the way that the portal works and the opt-outs and stuff. Yeah. It's almost better just to say, you know what, like you get one pick from each team.
Yeah. The question, maybe it would have been better just to ask him this instead of putting it out in our pod, but like, why don't we use auto subs? Given like the opt-out stuff, you'd think that potentially that might be advantageous. But if you like, if your player opts out, doesn't play, whatever, you're screwed.
But it doesn't lock until the game locks, right? So you still get the ability
how
to do
bowl season goes.
That's true.
Yeah, so it can be frustrating, but everybody's gonna have some landmines. But
I didn't take you for the fan of the auto sub, to be honest.
I mean, just seeing how things have played out and will continue to play out with bowl season, I get it. And like more than so, personally, I don't feel like it. Like I'm fine with it. I've made peace with kind of what's going on and what's going to happen, but not everyone will. And I've seen how people react to this sort of thing, and I prefer that we continue to grow the contest as opposed to lose people's interest. Gotcha.
Well, I want to say you get like if you pick let's say a Tulane player, Jake Retzlaff, and they win the national championship, you get Jake Retzlaff's points for all of the games, correct?
That's incorrect.
What was the way? What is it then? The last game they played?
In the past, at least, I think it's been just their one game, hasn't it?
The first game or the last game?
Oh, I thought it was first, but now that you're mentioning it, maybe I think I might be wrong. I'm not sure.
We'll have to tag Zach in the tweet that I put out.
We're doing a great job promoting the product. First, I talked about why it was bad, and now we're getting the rules incorrect.
We're not perfect here at Burning the Red Shirt.
Yeah.
I'll message him and see if we get an answer before the end of the show. Army Navy is this weekend. So is it completely criminal that they have a bowl game on the same day as Army Navy?
No, it should be required.
Multiple games.
It's a nice buffet of Army Navy, Heisman, and then bowl game to cap us off. I've seen in the past people upset about the bowl game, that Army Navy should be the only game that day. I completely disagree. Having the nighttime bowl game nightcap is a great way to end that day. Okay, I didn't expect that either. A lot of we had it last year. We had South Alabama.
I know we did. We had multiple. Yeah. I think we even had. Did we even have crossover? I want to feel like there was multiple games on.
South Alabama Western was the night game last year. I think it played out very similarly to this. It was just Army Navy Heisman and then bowl game.
There's also HBCU championship.
Oh, excuse me.
FAMU and South Carolina State.
Maybe we'll get props.
You picked that one yet?
No, but what's the ESPN their Bowl Mania usually includes the Celebration Bowl, I believe.
Yeah, and the pick'em ones I do on like Office Football Pool includes it too. Typically, the guy that I do it with. So
Nice.
yeah, I always just throw the 1 in there, but I might like 1.4, but I might have to just do a little research because all these playoff games, there's a lot of games that I feel like are very tight that that I need to be more strategic with my point totals. But
Have you started looking at props for the stuff that's out there yet?
no, not really. No, there's so much that can change between now and like even the Tuesday game or the Wednesday games. Like we saw it yesterday. It was kind of expected, but like Byron Brown's not playing, so like, is it worth looking at stuff like a week in advance of the actual game? But no, I have not. Are there even props out for a lot of these games? I don't think there are.
Some for Boise, Washington.
Boise and Washington, yeah, but that's Saturday.
The playoff games.
Oh, the playoff game, sure. But I was just thinking more from like a next week perspective. Yeah, I haven't because I don't think there's even anything out there.
Yeah. The problem with the playoff games, right, is they're real football games, so you don't get weird bullshit, and there's like less edges.
You mean less freebies?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like those are the hardest games to be of the year. Why? Like, I don't know.
It truly becomes gambling when it's like
right.
No change, no player issues, especially when you get like 3-4 weeks off. It's like we know that someone's going to be healthy, or there's no question of potential usage on a running back that's coming back from a rib injury or something. So,
yeah.
What do you think the impact is of ODU USF would have been an incredible bowl matchup 15 years ago with like that landscape of college football? Because like Joseph would have stayed and Byron Brown would be playing. But I think we all expected them to enter the portal, and they did. This kind of feels like it could be fun, though. Quinn Henikel, Nate Marquise's favorite player in college fantasy football, should be starting, right?
Yeah, that is exciting. And then your boy Gaston Moore for USF.
Is that my boy? What?
I'm just
just throwing it out there to see what sticks.
Yeah. I'm wondering if more USF guys end up leaving. That I've never watched Gaston Moore play. I imagine it's not that exciting. Did you see Brown's going to be coaching? Might be calling plays.
I did. Calling plays, I did not see, but I saw he was.
I'm making that up, but like who else is? Like I think there's minimal offensive staff left, so theoretically it's in play. But what if some more receivers go? I bet a bunch of ODU spread money line and some under stuff. Yeah, but I'm excited to see Henikel as well. I mean, you run for 200 yards in your only start at the end of 2024. I'd like to see kind of what's on the table in this bowl game. But this game is very much a good representation of bowl season, right? Both QBs opt out. I'm sure there's gonna be some more weird stuff going on leading up to the game as well.
Especially with the Heartline edition, right?
He's gonna fail, right?
I think a lot of people consider him like an incredible recruiter, but like when has he ever really done anything in terms of like actual impact to the game? Because he was the OC, but he was like pseudo OC because Ryan Day, and so it's always, I guess, been the question about if he's actually any good, but who knows?
Yeah.
I tell you these little tidbits, and I try to give you free money, and you just push it away sometimes, Andrew. I told you that Navy, that spread was going to boost, that was going to bump. You see what Navy is right now?
Dude, I told you I bet it before you even mentioned it. It's one of my biggest positions, Navy.
What did you get it at?
Plus 6.5.
Navy plus 6.5?
Yeah, right when it came out.
No, you didn't.
I can show you the tickets.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is Navy -4 now. Yeah, I forgot that you said you got it.
It's out to 4.
That's on me.
that game. So I hope that things continue to trend in the direction they are. More Cincinnati opt-outs and whatnot, but it'll be, assuming Sorsby's gone, it'll be fun to see what Samaj Jones actually looks like. Us who have been reading Cincinnati blogs for the past couple of years, things sound cool and promising when it comes to Samaj. I wonder if that's a preview, if we get a good preview of what could potentially be a really fun QB in 2026.
That January 2nd day is literally filled with potential narrative edges and like opt-out type edges, because that has the Arizona game and Noah Fafita is like 280 yards from the school record. And then you have Bo Sparks is like 113 yards away from the school record for receiving yards. You could like probably get some incredible narrative lineups in DFS.
I wonder if those two examples you gave, you think maybe they chase those records.
Three-time starter. Arizona's three-time starter, 3-year starter at quarterback. He's going out. He's not going to do anything except CFL maybe. Like
he has another year, doesn't he?
He can't possibly have another year.
Yeah, he has another year.
Does he really? How?
What else is he going to do? He's coming back.
Well, I just mean that how is he not a redshirt senior by now? But I guess not. Dang. Well, I can't remember. Was it a school record or career record that I told you about? Like a year record or a career record? I don't remember. Even then, more reason. Send him off into 2020. Well, it is 2026 at that point. It's January 2nd.
Yeah.
It's also Kamario Taylor Day. They play Wake Forest that night.
Yeah, that could be fun. Hopefully Wake Forest doesn't muck things up and everyone just agrees to play no defense, because that game could be a total banger, right?
Yeah. I think January 1, though, it's limited games compared to what it used to be, but that has the making of an incredible back-to-back-to-back day.
What is it?
It's the Texas Tech game, it's the Indiana game, then the Georgia game. They put the Ohio State game on New Year's Eve.
But as they should. I like the one on the one playoff game the night before the three the following day. Give us 2 days of
they should you should not have to pick between one or the other on the full screen if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Stand alone, you can do it. Michigan, Texas. We already talked about Michigan. That line's moved up a little bit. It's Texas minus 6.5. I feel like I saw it at 4, but it might have been 5. Any other potential bowl games? Maybe what are the bowl games that you've bet besides Navy? And we can talk where your head was at.
Yeah, let me bring some stuff up. A lot. So I turn into kind of like steam chaser is the wrong word, but trying to just get ahead of. I pretend that I know what I'm doing with sides and totals during bowl games and try and build a big portfolio. And then on game day, assuming I have closing line value, I'll look at it and decide if I want to just get out and Zach's here, and get out and hey Zach, and lock in profit or play or free roll or stuff like that. Generally speaking, there's too much variance for me to just even with a good amount of CLV. I don't want to I don't want to play out bowl season where I have 20 positions on sides and totals that I actually don't know anything about and just let the chips fall how they may. I don't put in the work to actually be good at sides and totals, right? So, but I do think I can get CLV, and it's working out really well so far. Got ahead of a bunch of line moves like Washington State, Utah State. I have Utah State plus 1.5, and they're depending where you look, minus 2.5, minus 3.5 now.
Did you get Clemson?
I did. That was very much a principal thing for me. Clemson's got culture. Yes, they'll have some draft entries and stuff like that, but we're not going to see mass opt-outs there. Penn State, I think it's going to continue. We're going to see more and more opt-outs, and so I got them plus 1.5. I think that could close 7. I think it's already over 3. I think. Let's see. Similar to Navy, I have Army. I can't believe that's out to 5.5 now. I got Army plus 3.5, and that was two-pronged. One, service academies and bulls, but two, I can't remember if I mentioned this to you. I take no shortcuts when it comes to transfer portal and draft stuff. Like the last 2-3 weeks, literally every single time a guy's entered the portal or entered the draft, I have spreadsheets that I log them in, and I spent the time with your PFF stuff you sent me to build out like a perfect. I've got it perfected now. I think it took a lot of data scrubbing though to basically get a perfect snap count lookup table. So I've got every player who's entered the portal or the draft, excuse me, and snap counts associated with them. Port that over to the bowl game matchups and aggregate, and it was like very clear early on, like UConn is losing a lot of talent, and I don't think Skylar Bell goes either. The matchup not great by any means. Like Fagnano should be able to throw it around on Army, but still, like that team could be a skeleton crew. So it was nice getting them Army plus 3.5, and like Market clearly agrees. That's one of my bigger positions. San Diego State, I got it like plus 6.5 against North Texas. With thinking Messamaker might not go. Like, yes, they have Hoffenbarger, but like maybe more guys don't go, right? And just like get ready to like hit the portal and stuff. As soon as I got invested there, literally a minute later, the San Diego State defensive coordinator took the job in Nebraska, so that could have gone better. And then I think that's most of the main stuff. The biggest tipping point in maybe all of bowl season, I think, in terms of like, okay, the spread is at one place now. It should be maybe 7 to 10 points in either direction, variable based on this one thing. Do you want to guess what it is?
No.
Yeah, there's no way you would get it. If Samari Collier goes for Coastal.
There's no shot I would have gotten that.
If he goes, I think it's like close to a pick 'em. If he doesn't go, it should be like 14.
Who do they play?
And it's like 7.5, 8.5 right now. You cannot. I think it's so tough to quantify the difference between him and like Tad freaking Hudson. Like we saw what that team looked like the first few weeks and the last few weeks without Collier, and then we saw what it looked like in between, and they might have gone 2-10, 1-11 without him. And it seems like it's possible he plays. They're not tipping their hand. I'm trying all the tricks, scouring, search things, hitting up insiders. No one knows quite yet, but that's one I want to solve before game day and get a feel for what we need to do there.
That they played Louisiana Tech, which is a home game because it's the Independence Bowl. The only thing I took away from that is that you don't know anything, which is what you said.
I mean, that's correct. But like, I tried for week 0 and week 1 this year to actually play sides and totals just to get a sense for like, can I actually do this? And I got a decent amount of CLV and lost a shitload of money. It didn't matter.
Yeah, it's CLV.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, it's only like it's 1 week. Like, how much can you judge for that? But like, I prefer to just be props and not have to deal with this kind of variance. So fuck that.
Well, we do have a special guest to this show. Zach is actually here. What's up, Zach?
Oh man, not much. I actually took the day off today and saw you were potting, so thought I'd jump on.
What a coincidence!
But I will say, just jumping in like 30 minutes into this pod, if I didn't know Andrew, I would think, what an absolute effing nerd. And most of our followers might think that anyway, but it's like just jumping in and listening to his like breakdown of it. It's next level like thinking, because
snap stuff. He's always asking me for snaps and routes and stuff like that, and he gives me some tidbits off of it, but not enough for what I'm giving him. But it's good to see that what's actually being taken from this. Zach, we talked about this in the pod. You answered in the Discord, but for those that are trying to play Bowl Bash, clarification for teams that are players. The scenario, let's give you this one. Kejuan Lacey, Ole Miss running back. They play Tulane round 1. Let's say Ole Miss wins the national championship. What's the points situation for Kejuan Lacey?
So anybody you take in the playoff, you'll get all their points for every game except the national championship game. I don't count the national championship game. I have never counted the national championship game. But the only caveat is each game they progress, it's a 5-point deduction.
So game 1, Keyvon Lacey gets his full 20 points. Game
Correct.
2, he gets 20 points, but minus 5. Game 3, he gets his 20 points, minus 5 again.
Correct.
Got it.
So it's not a deterrent. It's not a deterrent to take the playoff teams, but it could factor into your decision.
As the creator and someone that's done this for years, we've done this rule before. What would you recommend people do with players from the playoff?
You're asking me like I know what.
You've seen the winners.
I do see like
the winning lineups.
Obviously, the teams that have the I'm guessing right of which teams are going to win would help. Like if I would say like last year, like when Penn State played Boise in the second round, like if you felt good about Penn State, you probably felt good about them against Boise in the second round, right? Like because it was such a weird. Because Boise got the first round bye and all that. So Penn State had a good matchup. So you would try to take a team that you knew would progress. Obviously that's obvious, but you don't want to take the fringe guys that are like, oh, I'll take a tight end that he could go for 20, but he might only go for 3. And if he gets 3 points and you took the -5, you ended up losing points.
So you need to go the stars of the team that you want to play.
I would say so, yeah. That's what I would do.
What's the defense? Jeremiah, I think, right?
Do what?
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to take somebody from Ohio State.
Yeah, and that's the other caveat. You can only take one player per team.
Yeah.
So you can't
We did get that right.
Yeah, okay, good.
We did get that right, yeah. No salary, no tiers. It's just straight. Every player is available. The only stipulation is the one player per team.
Right. And, people want to do the salaries, which I'm not opposed to doing the salaries. The problem is, one, you have so many opt-outs that once you set salaries, you can't just change it as you find the information because people set their lineup back at the beginning of bowl season. Yes, you can swap out as you go, but maybe you wouldn't have made a decision knowing that a salary changes later on.
That's what we had talked about. Like the salary stuff is fun in theory, but there's too many opt-outs and stuff like that for it to actually.
And you get to like a game, like let's say, your team that plays near the end of bowl season, they don't announce they're opting out until 3 days before they play. So now you're stuck. You were banking on that guy to play, and now he's opting out, and you can't swap out because all the other teams have played.
Okay.
So salary makes it's hard. I would love to do it, and if somebody would want to do it, I would be open to taking the help, but I just don't see how you do it.
It's too many
today's
pieces.
College football.
Have you set your lineup?
You were muted. I didn't hear you.
Have you set your lineup?
Have I? No, I have not.
I was just going to say, I want to hear one player from your team. Andrew, you have pieces of your lineup. You got to give us one. Give us one player.
Anybody from the bucked up LA Bowl this weekend?
No, not yet. Not yet. Camden Brown isn't right now. I never got a chance to really do much with that dude. Is that his name? The Georgia Southern? Yeah, yep. The Georgia Southern receiver. Though I feel like we only had props for them maybe twice, and the first time was against Southern Miss, and that was my first time watching them this year. And there was like preseason hype, right? Him going from Auburn, and people were on him, but I didn't draft any. And then he started off really well, and then watching him against Southern Miss, I'm like, okay, this dude's like an absolute alpha. And then I didn't forget, but like his line was like fairly accurate against Appalachian State the other time we got props for them, but it was still like reasonable. It was like at 60, and I should have taken his over, but didn't end up doing it. And then he went off again. I was like, all right, now for Bowl Bash, I finally get a chance to like actually root for this guy with financial interest. So I'm definitely doing it.
So let me ask, this is kind of pivoting, but how close do you think we were to getting an FCS team in the Birmingham Bowl?
Probably not close at all. I think
how far down the list would they have gone?
I think they say sorry, App State.
No, it would have been Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern, yeah.
And I think they had 6 teams say no.
I think well, there are 10 teams I think opted out. I think maybe 6 said no to this game. Yeah.
Like, I just wonder how far down. Like, do you take like a 3-win team just to fill the spot, or do you?
Well,
just
none of those teams
cancel
are
the
going to.
game?
Yeah, just none of those teams are going to say yes, because if you're a 3-win team, you've been checked out for months. Like there's just no way that's happening.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, at what point? Because the sponsors are like, no, you're playing the game. Like, I feel like that has to happen. We put a lot of money into this game, but is an FCS team even eligible to do it?
I mean, do you think that there was do you think there was a legitimate shot that Vandy could have scheduled an additional 13th game, like in the regular season? Did you see that, Katz?
It feels unrealistic.
I mean, COVID year was crazy. We got all the teams, like Army was playing teams left and right within like 4 days. So I think from a scheduling perspective, it could probably be done if coaches and teams weren't like so scared about game planning and stuff. But like, is it actually like NCAA legal or whatever for them to add a 13th game like that is more the question.
Well, no, Washington State and Oregon State can play twice in the same season, like 4 weeks apart. But
yeah, why not?
Why not? Why not? Just so they can get a game, well, I guess that'd be a 12th game for them.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be legal or not, but why not?
Andrew's in the lab over here. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What did you just see on Twitter that's making you bet something right now?
Yeah, you don't want to know. It's like beyond degenerate.
Is it college football related?
Yeah.
Okay. He's not betting. Like, well, I can't.
He's
really
not betting Russian soccer anymore.
That's kind of what I usually would do. Yeah.
Is there Zach? Is there a bowl game that is interesting to you that's not like obvious?
I was looking through them just when I said all of this stuff, and again, without really looking at opt-outs and stuff. Unfortunately, the North Texas San Diego State game was going to be. I think it was going to be really good. Like, just on paper, like if you took those two teams as they were at the end of the season, I just don't know who plays in that game.
Oh.
That would be one I would say would be pretty good. Iowa Vanderbilt, it's not going to be fun. I don't think. Iowa's just Iowa.
Dude, I think that could go a couple different directions, but I don't think it's that cut and dry. Iowa always shows up, always travels insanely well. They take every bowl game like it's their Super Bowl. Think about the game against Kentucky a couple of years ago where Wan'Dale Robinson got like 3 concussions on the final drive. And I think a lot of that game wasn't epic, but like the final 10 minutes was like these teams were like really trying to win. And then last year, Iowa, Missouri was like that also felt like these teams are so freaking invested. I see the same thing kind of playing out. Like maybe just from like we like basketball on grass, it probably won't be that, but like these teams will really care.
Fair enough.
Do you think JMU has any shot of beating Oregon?
Yeah, I do. I think they have a shot. Do I think it's likely? No.
I'm really rooting for JMU personally,
I am
but
too.
I don't think it's going to happen. Do you think the large majority of America is rooting for JMU?
I would say probably, especially after the whole Notre Dame thing. Like, I think what people want to see is they want to say, okay, you left Notre Dame out, you put Tulane and JMU in. Make them show why they put you in. Like, don't get blown out, or like just make it a competitive game, really. Which I'm not going to try to get into the whole Notre Dame thing, but I want to go back to the very first pod of the season that I was on, and we asked the likelihood of Notre Dame going 0-2 to start, and I said it's likely. It's at least a 50-50 that they go 0-2.
I thought it was possible too. I mean,
and they did, and I've been meaning to say that, and then so they have no room to even argue to get in because anyway. I'm not going down that road.
I will say the biggest bummer about the bowl season for me is the rematch stuff. I've said it a couple places, but like I don't need why did we put Tulane against Ole Miss again?
Right.
Like what are we doing to Ole Miss? That's like why are we helping them out? Like there were ways to do that. And then like Alabama OU, like that is something nobody needed to see again.
Right. I would agree with you. I saw that too and thought, you could have just swapped Tulane and JMU. Because you could argue JMU should have been seated higher anyway, but it's a whole other discussion.
Yeah. Katz, any final thoughts on the upcoming bowl season?
We should always just appreciate it and enjoy it for what it is. Like, I don't know people who don't like it or hate on it. Like, what is the nostalgia? What elements of the nostalgia are you drawing on? If it's relative to like your team and just supporting your team, and now you see your team getting decimated, I can relate to that. If it's anything outside of that, like, I don't know. I think we've always like I shouldn't say I can relate to it. I can appreciate it, but as someone who's always just like looked at even pre like gambling and fantasy, Andrew, like I always just loved bowl season for the amount of games, the time of the games, like all that good stuff. That is still there. Like I don't really, and so take away the financial component. Like I still appreciate and love bowl season for what it is, and then from the financial component, like it leans into all my strengths personally as well, like embracing variance, info-driven approach and stuff like that. So I'm always signed up for it. If you like, every time I see one of these droolers complaining about bowl season or too many bowl games on Twitter, like it's a nice, easy way to catch a block. Like I don't have any need for that.
I mean, next Friday, I'm going to be watching Kennesaw State against Western Michigan at 11:30 in the morning or 11 in the morning. Like, why is anybody upset about that?
The 11 a.m. kick is awesome.
So I don't understand why people hate on it.
I always remember, like back years ago, like, you know, I'm sure you two can relate also. Like you kept up with the obscure, quote unquote, obscure players from Kennesaw State or wherever, and you knew about them. But your friends didn't really know about them because they only cared about the big names, right? So when bowl season came around, that was like your time to like, see, look, told you he was good. I told you that guy was good. And it takes me back to like that point where I used to be so invested in the smaller school, the G5s, that like all of that work that you did throughout the year of like studying and preparing for, you know, whether you were playing fantasy or whatever, like it all kind of like pays off in the end because all the guys that you said were good usually are pretty good come bowl season.
Well, so Kennesaw State has the quarterback that led me to my championship in 2024 teamer, Nate League Best Ball Championship.
Nice. Excellent.
Well, awesome. Well, hope you guys enjoyed bowl season. The December pod, we got a surprise guest. Zach popped on 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah.
What's funny is Zach, and we'll wrapping this up, but Zach was in the actual live studio ready to talk for about 5 minutes, but Andrew insisted on continuing through his bets before we could introduce.
I cut myself off too. I cut myself off before I got too far down the list of games. There was a lot more to talk to.
But awesome. Well,
so I cut this pod about 10 minutes short then, is what you're saying.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Maybe we'll be back before New Year's. Maybe we won't. Off season is when we shine. So we'll be here then. So take it easy, guys. Enjoy the games.
All right. See y'all
later.